Hey, we're just Roll here again, and I know I'm doing two videos in one day, but this is not going to be too long. This is going to be a short video I have first games of Food Wars. And before I move on, one point in fact, this is going to be some very heavy spoilers. So if you have not read chapter 271 at this point, I'm only giving you 3 seconds. I was going to say 3 minutes, but 3 seconds to close this video, go back to where you left off, catch up, and come back here to this video. This is your one and only warning, because this is going to be spoiling what happens to chapter 271, or you just haven't seen my live reaction for it. Try that video. You have 3 seconds, starting now. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now, what can I say about 271 Food Wars? And like, first having the big reveal of the fact that not only that we had the big win for the Rebel Alliance that everyone wants to see, we all got it. The Rebel Alliance won. Only to find that Aaron becomes the headmaster, Tutsuki, and Soma becomes the #1 seed. Eventually, kind of leaves the fact that Marine story was ending, but there's no way the story was going to end here at this point. We still have the season hopefully become 30 years. As I was hoping for this for a high school series. This is basically you get to see these kids graduate. But that in your hand that's like a top 5 shocking moment. But this moment right here, as we find out, apparently someone that a new character has been sending these dark ships across the world to certain locations, whatever, to create Shokugekis. They caught the attention of the Tutsuki Academy, especially the Elite 10, and Aaron sent the Elite 10 to go and check to clear the situation. Ultimately, we mostly focus with Soma and Megami's mission. It turns out this guy from Mexico not from Mexico, I think from his, I forget where he's from. Apparently, he got the idea for a Shokugeki from this guy called Saiba. Ultimately thinking both Soma, Megami, and everybody who's running the chapter thinking that Joichiro before Joichiro Yukihira, was the one behind this. But it turns out that was not the case. It turns out who the Saiba was. It turns out that it turns out to be that Joichiro has another son named Saiba. So apparently this theory here is going to focus. Okay, I'm not going to say what kind of brothership. I could say that maybe Soma and Saiba was like I could say either half brother in this case, but the way how I think I should say either half brothers or blood brothers. Now I think blood brothers basically the same concept, and they both share the same parents, but we don't even been flat. But I'm going to disregard it completely because in Flashback, in case we see some pictures, it looks like a picture of Jojo and his wife. Apparently, he only has one child, and that's Soma, and that was it. So I'm going to guess that these two are basically half brothers. So I'm thinking from someone who's a half brother, who's actually older half siblings myself. Me, my brother, and my sister, who are my older half brother and older half sister. All three of us share the same father, but we don't have the same mother. We're still family because we share the same dad, but we're not from the same mothers. Those two, my brother and my sister, I don't want to get too personal here, but my brother and my sister came from my dad's first marriage. I am from my father's current marriage. His second wife. And now, being the fact that this hits home for me because I actually can relate to this whole situation, but not in the way how Food Wars is handling the situation. And the only way for someone to not know that he has a brother named Saiba is because that this Saiba character, Asahi, must have come from Jojo's previous marriage. It's been said that Jojo met a woman and he has a kid, but he never stated the fact that was Soma, specifically when he talked to Gin during that flashback. We all basically assumed the fact that you only have one wife and you have one kid, and that was Soma and the wife. But we aren't exactly sure what happened to the wife just yet. Possibly, maybe somewhere down the line, Jojo met another woman beforehand, but didn't tie the knot with her, and eventually have one night stand. He leaves off, leaving behind a pregnant woman, or leaving behind this pregnant woman with an unfathered child. Whoever's trying to be a son. I'm not going to call Jojo for walking away because maybe somewhere down the line things were going to have maybe it was his children remember it, or at least wasn't exactly in that point of commitment just yet until his current marriage with his current wife, who I think I'm not too sure where exactly in status, if she's still alive or she's dead. And hopefully have son Soma. So my theory suggestion is that what I'm suggesting here is that Saiba Asahi most likely is basically Jojo's son from a previous marriage, or at least from a one-night stand, or I don't enjoy. I think what I'm saying here is definitely that's the most definite. But I could say, but I'm saying the fact that the reason that Saiba's from basically another brother who was from the same family, but some sort of family circumstances prevented him from staying with the family, ultimately making the fact that Saiba had to be on his own for being adopted, or something like that. I'm going to go with the former because I'm pretty sure the fact that if Jojo mentioned him and one woman and only having a child, we all assume it's Soma, but we're not. But those never say that he actually told Gin the son's name, well, the mother's name, of course. So we don't know exactly the full story behind this. So maybe down the line, maybe of course, basically by tomorrow's, like this weekend's chapter, we will have a resolution at least. Okay, not much of a resolution until we have to see the meeting between Soma and Saiba. Until when these two eventually clash, we're going to finally get an origin story, exactly what Saiba's relationship with Joichiro, and why Joichiro is so angry that he meant. I should say not Joichiro, but why Saiba knows how Shokugeki is. And maybe he knows how Shokugeki is, more like he went to Tsuki Academy, but didn't graduate or at least dropped out. Because the way how he looked like in the manga we first saw him, he was like basically somewhere in the age. It looks like his physique and height looks like he's in the age of basically young adult, or at least close to like graduating, like young adult, like entering college, or at least just graduating high school. Maybe he could be somewhere on the same age as Soma, maybe a bit older. We don't know yet. There's a lot of mystery behind this character. So what I'm trying to say is for this character that his origin is basically kind of like mixing, like multiple directions here on what you could say for his origin. I'm saying that he is Soma's older half brother from a previous marriage, or I could say the fact he was the first son from Jojo in his current marriage, but due to financially some sort of problems with raising a child in the case that they're in right now, they couldn't put him up for adoption, which kind of like presented his family. And so as came in at least more afterwards. And we haven't heard of him until now, it looks like he's clearly older than Soma. So Saiba is the older brother, while Soma's the younger brother. We still have to wait exactly until when these two meet, which eventually will happen very soon. And we'll finally get the true answer. Because I already did a video like this before when Fairy Tail introduced a guy named Eileen from the Alvarez Party. If you can recall from my theory video that it kind of they realized that these two are sisters, but most likely I was leaning more towards mother and daughter. And it turns out it was mother and daughter when it was revealed that Eileen is the mother to Urza. So eventually we're going to see the answer to what Saiba is, what the relationship between Saiba and Soma is, and why Soma does not know this character until now, until we finally meet him. And eventually we get to see Emerald to see the origin. It's still up in the air exactly how he knows Shokugeki, and why does he know Shokugeki, and why is he all doing this. And this is what we'll learn in the future. So we have to wait and see until possibly the next chapter. Most likely we're going to get this possibly this weekend. So until then, leave a like, subscribe, comment, let's share with a friend, and I'll see you next time for the next video. Laters!